those two parts, right, that are beyond the dark, that are behind the dark class, right? So here, right? See that? Perfect. Now you want to isolate, ideally, 2 yellow cubes. The one is. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Once you isolate 2 yellow cubes, you can break them apart, have them reach each corner, just like that. Okay, and then you filled up. Then you get your red gun. Now we do this. You realize what your red gun can do for you. And now I'm just. When you have enough resources, you can start growing more. That doesn't seem normal. Yeah, so we can't have these cubes go through in any way. Right. I'll just keep these cubes here, just in case if I need them for later on. I'd rather just make a square. That's not a square. I know that I can constantly regenerate, or have the option to. Okay. So there's 3 things that you can do that are possible right now, because that one you can't do, obviously, right? So there's this middle part right here. Right, the left and then the right. So let's do this middle part. Now let's do this part. Alright, so if you notice here, you can't pass cubes through here. Right, what you want to do is you want to have 1 cube so you can open this door. It's pretty simple, right? But you can't pass any cubes through here, right? The only way that you can do it is you can get these cubes and have them go to these 2 openings, right? And then you grab a cube. You just see it. You can see it right here. There's an opening right here and there's an opening right there. So you want these cubes to reach one of those openings or both of them, so that you can grab a cube, place it here, and then open this door. Right? Let's see how we can do that. Alright, let's try shrinking it. Okay, we just get a cube. Let's try increasing it. Wow, that's pretty. We got it a lot, right? You saw it? So we tried shrinking it. We tried increasing it. See that? That's pretty simple, because once you have, those are 4 red cubes, right? You start with 4 red cubes, and you see what your options are, right? So you can go through the steps again of what your blue gun can do, what your green gun can do, what your yellow gun to do, what your yellow gun can do, and what your red one can do, right? And then when you finally reach the red gun, you realize you can do 2 things, 2 additional things. You can absorb everything, or you can spread out more, right? So that's what we did. Alright, now you can finally go over here. You can shrink it all. So absorb all of it if you want to. Right? Place 1 cube. Open the door. Good. Best solutions may still be the most primitive. So you're going back to the basics. Well, it seems like we can't do that. Even though we have the red gun, doesn't seem like we can wait. Oh, we can't do it. We can do it. Falling down teaches us how to get up. So looking at this poster, that means that we were supposed to fall, and when we fall, right, now we try to figure out how to get back up there. Right. So if you notice, this is very similar to the previous one, but it was this yellow, right? And what we did was we got rid of the center one, and we were able to move all those 4 cubes out. But we can't do that in this one, unfortunately. Right. We can try to absorb more, but that doesn't really help. Or we try to spread out more or shrink, and that doesn't really help. But we gotta figure out what can we do to trigger all 4 of these, right? And what you realize is you can actually absorb the center one. Once you absorb the center one, you can just look and see you can still manipulate this one, move it. Does that make sense? Get this, manipulate it, move it. So you end up wanting to do the same thing as before, but you can't really do it outside, right? So you have to look very up close and realize you can move these, right? And just move them. That's really all you got. You just gotta look closer and realize you can move the cube when you're closer to them, because there's a really small opening to it. And that's just something you just have to know. Just know that you can look closer, because these dark squares are in the way. Some things don't have it deeper. Okay, so the arrows, that means we're on the right. Draw a garden anyway. Let's follow the arrow. I was able to get cubes, so that was pretty easy. But I feel like if you didn't have cubes previously, then you would just be able to just take the cubes out and just create square and just keep going. Rinse and repeat. It'd be fine. If you didn't notice, there's no floor, so I can fall down. I gotta create a bridge for myself. Closer. Well, I'm gonna move this back so I can look more back. Okay. So, this is Spider-Man again. It says the world is always finding new ways to surprise. You just keep doing this bridge. Always want to take the cubes that I leave behind. And I can absorb it all just by holding the middle mouse button and the right mouse button. Now I can absorb all this. So you notice I'm sucking all these cubes into the gun. I think I'm maxed out though, because I do have a max. Right. So this one, you notice, you can't just put cubes into it. It just dies. But what you want to do is you want to fill up this entire cube. And the reason why this entire, yeah, you'll fill up the entire cube because you see these triggers, right? You want to fill up the entire triggers and you open the door. That's a logical thing you do. So what you have is you have squares, openings, right, that you can do. These 4 openings that are presented to you, right? You see what happens if you fill it all up. That's good. This one, that's off. It's not all connected. No. And these all fill up based on the direction that you're at. Does that make sense? So if I'm looking from this perspective, right, it's going to fill up what's in front of me. If I look at it from a different perspective, it's going to fill up a different way. If I'm looking at it from the side, it's going to fill up this entire front. Let's try it. I can't do it. So what I realize is I'm trying to fill up this side here, right? There's two sides I'm missing. One right here, and one right here. And there's only 4 openings that I can do, and that you guys already saw, right? So what you realize is up here is you can fill up this top, right? Just like that, if you guys saw. And the way I knew I can do that is from previous puzzles, right? If you guys remember, there was around the time where I got the green gun, right? Oh, that's pretty troll. So right on the time I had the green gun, right? The way I wanted to get more cubes, right? I had to fill up this entire line, right, in a similar way. Whereas if you guys remember, that's the green gun's when I was able to get this laser, right? With this laser, I was able to fill up this right here, right, with the line. It's like that, or absorb in a line. So the next thing I would do is I would just create a line, create a square out here, and see what happens, and try to fill it all up. And you realize you can connect everything together, and they just start naturally filling in the center part of it, and it creates a cube altogether. Peeking behind the curtains lets us see how everything. Oh, this is just an Easter egg. If you go either way, this is an Easter egg. It's just showing you how this game works, how the mechanics of it work. You notice here, the squares and the rectangles, right, the cubes, are just created with 2 triangles. Okay, that's what you do is over here. Okay, so if you see 1 cube, right, you see it's 2 triangles. That's all it's showing you, right? And if you connect more cubes to it, it just creates 2 sets of bigger triangles. So like this. Right? And here's just 1. You see that? Those are two triangles. But they just connect together, right? If you see it in a 3-dimensional standpoint, well, those are 3-dimensional standpoint. But if you see it with more cubes, right? So this is a bigger cube, right? You see that they're just bigger triangles, but if you try to take it all, you notice they just create smaller sets of it. See that? And then once they start connecting together, right? Good. They end up making bigger triangles. That's all it really is. It's really interesting. So you see here, they just create smaller sets of triangles, and then when they slowly regenerate, they start connecting together, make 2 big triangles, and then the empty space is just empty space, and that's all this is showing you. Okay. Yeah, I don't think they overlap. The lines overlap. Yeah, they don't overlap. But that's how they do it. Yeah, that's all this is. This is an Easter egg. Not something I need.